Good afternoon, guys. This is Genesis tutorial. My name is Celeste. On today's video, I'll teach you guys on how to solve partial differentiation involving inverse functions. Now, how this question say that if z is equals to if z equals to the function of x and y with u equals to x squared minus y squared and v is xy. Now, find the expression. Find the expressions. Find the expressions ds over du, ds over dv, dy over du, and dy over dv. Now, if you check in this, in this thing we asked to find. If you check here, we can't find ds over du here. We can't find ds over dv here. We can't find dy over du here. And also we can't find dy over dv. Now, therefore, what do you do? You use what inverse method. That's why this is called partial fraction involving inverse function. Okay. Now, therefore, solution first. This is u. The first function was what? U, right? So that becomes u is equals x squared minus y squared, right? Now, du over dx is what? Is 2s, and du over dy is what? Is minus 2y. Fine. Now come for the second variables. The second variables is v equals xy. So dv over dx is what? Is y, and dv over dy is what? Is x. Now, therefore, to find the inverse function j is by using method of determinant of matrix. We have here du over dx, we have du over dx, and here du over what? Dy. Always know that. And we have here dv over dx, and here dv over what? Dy. It's always x followed by y, and x followed by what? Y. Okay. Now, therefore, du over dx is what? My answer for du over dx is what? Is 2s. My answer for du over dy is what? Is minus 2y, right? And my answer for dv over dx is what? My answer for dv over dx is what? Is y. And my answer for dv over dy is what? Is x. Okay. Now, therefore, finding the determinant, cross multiply this. So that becomes this times this minus this times this. Okay. It's always this times this minus this times this, right? So that becomes 2x times x minus what? Minus 2y times what? Y. So that becomes 2x times x will give you 2x squared. And minus is what? Is plus. So there is 2y times y will give you what? 2y squared. Okay. Now, what's next? Now, therefore, my j is equals what? Therefore, my j is equals what? 2x squared plus what? 2y squared. Okay. Now if you watch this, now, therefore, start from this. Always know that this one goes what with what? Always, and this one goes what? This one, and this one goes with what? This one. Okay. And also always know that this row, this line here, this one here, everything in this line here is what? Is plus, and everything in this line here is what? Is minus. Always know that. So therefore, that becomes what? Dx over du. That's inverse. Now, dx over du is equal to what? Dv over what? Dy over what? Over your inverse function, which is what? Over j, where j is the inverse function. Okay. Remember, dx over what? Du is equal to what? Dv over dy all over what? Your inverse function. So which is equal to, now, therefore, dv over dy is what? What's my answer? Dv over dy dv over dy is what? Is x. That becomes x over my inverse function is what? Is this over this. So that's the answer. After doing that, you do this one. Remember we did dx over du. Now, therefore, also for here, you do the same thing you did here. Here was dx over du. So here will also be the same thing. Here will also be the same thing. Dy over what? Dv. Okay. That is dv over what? Dy over what? Dv. So therefore, dy over dv is equals to what? Du over what? Ds over your inverse, which is j. So that becomes, now, du over ds is what? Du over ds is what? Is 2s all over your inverse, which is 2s plus 2y squared. So if you check this, what's common here is 2. What's common here is also 2. So 2 cancel, that remains x over x squared plus y squared. Now again, now therefore come for this row. Come for this row. Remember that here this row becomes what? dx dx over dv. Apply the same method we apply in this row. dx over, but know that the only difference is that this line is plus and this line is minus. So that becomes what? dx over dv is equal to what? Minus, as I said, minus bracket du over what? dy over j. So that becomes minus bracket. Now du over dy is what? Is minus 2y all over your j, which is 2x squared plus what? Y squared. 2x squared plus y squared. So that becomes, now if you do this, if that become minus bracket, if you, what's common here? Minus 2. Here is minus, here is 2, that is common. So if you divide it out, that becomes equal to what? Minus times minus will give you what? Plus y all over x squared plus y squared. Now again, again we have that. Again after doing dx over the dv, now again you do what? dy over du. Now dy over du is equal to minus bracket dv over what? dx over j. So which is equal to minus bracket. Now dv over dx is what? What's my answer? dv over dx is what? Is y. So that is y over j. My j is what? 2x squared plus y squared, right? So that becomes, if open this bracket, that becomes minus y over 2x squared plus what? 2y squared. So that's the answer for what? For this one. Now our question number 2. Question number 2 says that if z is a function of x and y, and u is e raised by s cos y, and v is e raised by minus x sine what? Sine y, okay, please. Sine y, okay. Now therefore you have to what? Find the expressions dx over du, dx over dv, dy over du, and dy over dv. So therefore let's start. Now first thing to do, this is, you take the first function, which is u is what? E raised by s cos y. So therefore what you do, du over dx is the same thing as what? Es cos what? Y. And also what? Du over dy is where? So you only differentiate y if y is a first number from the word, from the right. Now this is left, this is right, here left, here is right. So now, so from the right, will you see y? Yes, I see that is cos y. So I have to differentiate cos y. If you differentiate cos y, is what? Is minus sine y. So that becomes minus e raised by s sine y. Now what's next? I have that v is equals to what? E raised by minus x sine y. So therefore dv over dx is what? This is e raised by minus s abi. So now differentiate what? Differentiate what? X. So if you check here, what number is x carrying? That is the invisible one here. So when that invisible one, that is minus 1. So when minus 1 goes down, that is minus e raised by minus x sine what? Sine y. That's the answer. Okay. By using, you can also use your product rule, which says that e raised by minus x stay, differentiate this plus this stay, differentiate this. That's what I did, the same thing as it was done. So therefore that becomes what again? I have dv over dy is what? dv over dy, this is sine y, yes. So that becomes, differentiate sine y is cos y. So bring down what? E raised by minus x, abi. So therefore to find the inverse function j is the same thing, du over ds, du over dy, dv over ds, dv over dy. Here is x followed by y, here is x followed by what? Y. Always know that. So therefore what do you do? Now we have that du over ds is what? Du over ds is this, which is this, right? Du over dy is what? Du over dy is this, which is what I place here. So what next? dv over ds is what? dv over ds is this, so which is what I place here, right? And dv over dy is what? Is this, which is what I place here. So therefore what do you do? I'll find the what? Determinant by doing what? Cross multiply this. That is this minus this. So that becomes e raised by x cos y times e raised by minus x cos y minus bracket minus e raised by minus x sine y times minus e raised by what? Minus times what? Times minus e raised by what? Sorry. This is minus what? Minus e raised by x sine y times yes minus e raised by minus x sine y. So therefore what do you do now? I have that cos y times cos y will give you a cos square y, and e raised by x times e raised by x is something as here is 1, so this is minus 1 abi. So 1 minus 1 is 0, so e raised by 0 is same thing as what? 1. Now here minus, put your minus bracket, sine y times sine y is same thing as sine square y. Okay, now therefore that becomes what? I have a e raised by s, here e raised by minus s, so here is 1, here is minus 1. Okay, now by using your laws of indices, which is that time is changed to plus, so that becomes 1 minus 1 is what? Is same thing as 0. So e raised by 0 is same thing as what? 1. So that is this. So if you open this bracket, that becomes cos square y minus sin square y. And you know that the simplest form of cos square y minus sin square y is, now the simplest form of cos square y is equals to 1 plus cos 2y over 2. That's the simplest form of it. And the simplest form of sin square y is something like 1 minus cos 2y over what? 2. Okay, now therefore what you do, this minus this, which is what? My answer for this is what? This, that is this minus bracket. My answer for this is this. Okay, so that becomes what? That becomes 1 plus cos 2y over 2 minus, so that becomes minus times 1 is what? Is minus 1. Minus sin minus cos 2y is cos 2y. So all over what? 2. So therefore what you do, find the LCM. LCM of this is same thing as 2. So if 2 divided by 2 is 1, 1 multiply everything here is 1 plus cos 2y. Put a word plus. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 multiply everything here is cos 2y minus 1. So therefore, what do you do? 1 minus 1 is 0. So if you do this, cos 2y plus cos 2y is what? Is 2 cos 2y. Okay, all over what? 2. So 2 cancel out 2. Therefore, my j is cos 2y. So j is what? Cos 2y. So since my j is cos 2y now, now therefore, from our determinant, you know that now therefore that becomes dx over du is equals to what? Dv over what? Dy abi. So that becomes dx over du is what? Dv over dy all over my words, my inverse function, which is j. Okay, so therefore that becomes dv over dy is what? My answer for dv over dy was what? Dv over what? Dy is e raised to minus x cos y. So that becomes e raised to minus x cos y all over cos 2 what? Y. That is it. Now after doing that, the next thing is that so that becomes dy over dv. Dy over dv is equals what? Is equals what? Dy over dv is equals du over what? Dx. So that becomes dy over dv is equals du over dx over j. So now therefore my answer for du over dx is what? My answer for du over dx is e raised by x cos what? Y. Is what? E raised by what? E raised by x cos y. Now all over my j is cos 2y. Simple. And therefore, what's next? After we are done with this line, abi. So I know that and as I say that this line is what? Everything here is plus, everything here is minus. So therefore, let's start from here. So start from here, we have that. From here, we have that. Now ds over dv is equal to minus du over what? Dy over j. So that becomes ds over dv. Ds over dv is equal to what? Du over dx is equal to minus du. Ds over dv is equal to what? Minus du over what? It's minus du over what? Dy all over what? J. So which is equal to what? We have minus brackets. And what's my answer for du over dy? My answer for du over dy is what? Is minus e raised by x and y. So that is minus e raised by x and y all over my j is cos 2y, which is, if you open this bracket here, minus times minus will give you what? Plus. That becomes e raised by x sin what? Y all over cos 2y. Now again is dy over du is equals to what? Minus dv over dx. So that becomes dy over du is equals to minus dv over dx over j, which is also now that becomes equals minus bracket. My answer for dv over dx is what? The answer for dv over dx is minus e raised to minus x and y, is minus e raised to minus x and y all over j is cos 2y. So if you open the bracket here, that becomes minus times minus is what? Is plus. That becomes e raised to minus x and y all over what? Cos 2y. Very, very simple. Please guys, if you find this video interesting and helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment and share, and don't forget to turn on your notification bell, in order to know whenever I upload new videos. Thank you very much.